just after 1. I'm joined by Tom Wentworth, which, if you don't know Tom, he is a playwright, a screenwriter, and a Substack columnist now. He's also one of the judges and an inaugural reader for Write Up. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Amy. Hello, lovely Amy Beeson. How nice to be here. It's all going on. This is live, as you can tell, everyone. So here we are. Um,
I think that was my laptop telling me that I'm live on Substack.
we know. We know.
We know.
And hello to everyone joining. It's lovely to be here. Here we are again, Amy.
Here we
Nattering
are.
about Write Up, which is great.
About Write Up. So I think I am in the midst of getting the crowdfunding done. We've got until midnight on Tuesday, that's 5 days away, on the 25th of November. And I knew this would be coming, but you do start to feel a bit frenzied by this point in fundraising. So, Tom, I think I might let you lead this conversation rather than it be my frazzled brain.
Yeah, quite. Fine. That's fine. Well, tell us about, so we've got 5 days to go until the
Yes.
end of the funding. Tell everyone how we're doing and where things are.
So we've currently got £1,068, I think, in the fundraising. And, I think it was really funny because I saw, my friend Neerja this morning and she went, "That's amazing. That's over £1,000 in a few weeks from ordinary people of their hard-earned money in the run-up to Christmas in a cost of living crisis." And I was like, yes, you're right. And I remembered that one of my best friends from my entire life said that to me over the summer one when I think we were about 2 days away, and I just felt completely overwhelmed. I couldn't actually see how special that was. Like I could only see where I was trying to get to. And so it is good to have friends that kind of anchor you in that. Yes. So we have to hit the 50% target to get the match funding. And this write-up is actually £2,000 less than the previous write-up in terms of funding. And there's a few reasons for that. One, we're having fewer readers, only because I thought we'd have fewer entrants, and we did. So we had a brilliant amount of entrants. We had 30, but for the summer one, we had 52. And I think that's because of the time of year. I think it's like, and it could possibly be the theme as well. But I also...
Maybe, but again, I'm gonna slightly do a Neerja on this and just say, the quality of entrance we've had, and I know this because I'm judging with the wonderful Emma Simpson, and we had our first judges meeting yesterday, and my goodness, one, the standard is brilliant, but the problem of that for us judges is the standard is brilliant. Who do we pick? It's incredibly hard, and you've not made it easy. Everyone who submitted, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And you've not made it easy at all. And it is going to be, but this means that it is going to be whether you come as a reader, audience, even if you can't come and you just want to support it, we'll come back to that later. It is going to be the most spectacular evening because the standard is up here. So again, it's a real quality over quantity thing. And I think, maybe the theme has, not brought out the same amount. The last theme was home, wasn't it? And that is that. But actually, we've got such a range within the theme of Christmas, and it's not going to be. I wanted to stress on this call that it's not just going to be about. It's not going to be an evening about if you don't like Christmas or you're not particularly Christmassy, it's not just going to be everything that you fear it's going to be around Christmas, because it can be a very difficult time for many people, and we hope that within the evening, we know, in fact, it's going to be an evening of light and shade, of joy, of some melancholy, there'll be every type of Christmas, and I would argue sort of winter story in there for you to enjoy. So I just want to caveat all that we're saying with it's not this is not Hallmark Christmas evening, because I would not be coming to that. So
no, I mean, nobody's going back to their hometown to realise their big city job was the wrong choice and they really need to marry a lumberjack from next door. That's not happening.
I don't know what you mean, Amy. I really don't know what you mean. You're making me question my life choices now. But that might be, in fact, I've got to write a story for the evening. Maybe I'll write that as
I
my
have
basis for
requested
mine.
I have requested topics yesterday, didn't I, on the judging panel from you and Emma. What it would be really nice for you to write.
Yes, exactly. They're slightly random. We won't give them away, but
Uh,
yeah, we've been given our commissions yesterday, and we had the most marvelous judging meeting yesterday, and full of laughter and fun. And we've just, yeah, we agree on lots, we disagree on lots, and
yes,
we've still got some slugging out to do this
we
week.
do. We still. So we've got our shortlist now that we're working on, and we've still got ones that we are going back and forth on. And I think, that's because the quality has been really good, and sometimes it's coming down to that stories are similar. So it's kind of trying to think how it works within the format of the evening when you've got two pieces that are great quality on a very similar topic. So how have you found that, Tom?
Oh, I think it's well. I think one, it's a pleasure to have the choice. That is fantastic. But yeah, it's really hard, and we all slightly come at things from different angles. And we should say that we've judged these completely blind. Emma and I got the submissions blind, so that's been fascinating as well. To do it in that way, so it is on the writing and on a certain amount of thinking how the pieces. I've been very much my standpoint in the judges, in a way, has been thinking about the evening and thinking about how the pieces are going to be read by how will they perform. That's been my big sort of guiding principle with my choices and decisions. So it was really fun yesterday. I enjoyed it, but we're going to have to I was quite tough yesterday, but we're going to have to get even tougher.
You're definitely like the Craig Revel Hallward of the judging panel. I'd say Emma is Motsy, and
Oh,
I'm on
Emma's much. Yes, yes.
and I'd say I'm on
Are
the
you
Shirley
Shirley?
side.
Are
Yeah,
you Shirley? Of
but
course.
actually, my favourite judge is actually Craig.
Yeah, because he tells it like it is. Fair, but tells it like it is. I agree. I absolutely agree. But back to the funding. So that's a little bit about the what people can expect. But I think with the funding side of things, you put in a report for the last one.
Yeah,
And I'd be interested. I think people would be interested to know about. It's quite interesting about funding because it doesn't end when the event ends. For the
no,
people who can you tell people about that? Because I think that's really interesting. The
yeah,
wider conversation about how an event like this gets funded and partners and all those things that I know you think is probably really boring because you're up to your eyes. But I think for writers, it's quite interesting because the first thing we should say is the writers are getting paid. We've said this before, but we cannot stress enough how rare that is. But in order to get paid, it needs to be funded. So tell us about the match funding and all those kind of funding conversations that you've been having.
yeah. So I wanted to do something. So obviously, if people don't know, I'm a meetup host. There are several meetups that happen in London. I host ones in West London. We've got one on Monday, actually.
There's still tickets for Monday, aren't there?
Yes, there's about three. Yeah. Um, so it kind of came from that and wanting to create a platform. So one of the things we have at the meetups is people get an open mic slot and they get to read their work. And I really wanted to create a platform where we could hear more stories. And what's really interesting is I was in a funding meeting yesterday. So there's ongoing funding meetings that I'm in, and it's to do with governance and transparency about the work that we're doing within this. So it's a big learning curve for me as well. And it was really interesting. Like one of the advisors said to me, it's so important, this work that you're doing, enabling storytellers and giving a more breadth of people to get a platform for our stories, because we live in such a divisive world where the media controls the stories that we hear and the narratives that we hear. And that kind of means that you often only get a kind of slim point of view. And that's where a lot of misunderstanding comes. And, when you hear someone's story, it's such an offering, it's such a gift. And it's really how you can create human connections. Human beings are storytelling creatures. It's how we make sense of the world. And you're 50% more likely to remember a story than you are a statistic. So even though these are lovely, entertaining stories and they're, some are really funny, some are quite heartbreaking, some are a bit spooky, like, there's a real lovely mix. But it is one of the ways that we can have more people telling life from their perspective. And I think, have more voices. I think that's really special. And they really like the idea as well that we weren't just having one group of writers, that it was really mixed and giving opportunity to lots of people on different stages of their journey and valuing it equally.
And that's been the amazing thing as well, just to cut in, has been like we've had absolutely new writers alongside really established writers. And that's a really rare thing for those people to be. Even we don't know who we're going to select yet, but we can say there's going to be a range of different talent just because of the ones we've got on our list. But the thing is to even be submitting to the same competition, that range of that's really rare to have a platform, a level what is a level, we hope, a level playing field for those writers. That's quite special.
I think I think it's, right up first and foremost, it's going to be a wonderful Christmas party. You're going to leave walking on air. That's how we all felt, I think, after the summer one. It's
Well,
something.
we danced, as you know. I mean, I got my dancing shoes on and off we
I know.
went. So absolutely marvelous.
I know. It's going to be so lovely. And I think, it's lovely to give something to yourself as well. Often at Christmas, we're so busy with all these things and trying to
And we
organize
don't
things.
have colleagues, we don't have a works Christmas party. So this is our works Christmas party.
This is our works Christmas party, and I think it's also a very writer Christmas party because even if you are, an introvert and you find kind of, like I've had invitations in the run up to Christmas for work things, and it's like that thing of being thrust into a room with loads of people you don't know with a warm glass of white wine and having to try and find people to talk to who you don't know.
No,
It's not
no
fun.
one's going to be stuck in corners at this event. Everyone will be welcome, whether you're audience, whether you're a reader, whether you're a helper. It's a certainly in the summer it was a hugely welcoming place. I'd met hardly no one in real life, and I felt when we finished, I felt like I knew them all intimately and had known them for years.
I think so. And what we're going to have at this one as well is we're going to have different writers hosting different tables as well. So that will be so nice in terms of like, you don't have that pressure to perform. This is not about selling yourself, proving your worth. I think that brings up huge imposter syndrome for people. It's literally just about coming and being yourself and enjoying the evening. And you can talk as much or as little as you want. There's absolutely no pressure. But I do think listening to the stories spark something in us. So it could be that you have a response to the story and that's the discussion. Or it could be around the story you end up talking about your Christmas shopping. Who knows? It doesn't really matter. It's all for fun. There's no points going to be racked up on this. So I think it will just be so lovely. And I do like Christmas and I like all the different elements of Christmas. And then it does galvanize you to really think about what you hold dear in your life. And for me, over this last year, I've realized just how important community is and how much we do need other people and
And
how
you're
much
so
stronger we
good, Amy. You're so good at fostering that community. It's amazing. I don't know how you get the energy to do it because I love receiving the end of your community making, but I'm not sure I'm as good at holding the space. I hope I am, but it's a real skill, and that's a really precious thing that people will be able to see live, as it were, as you cavort about in some fabulous outfit. I think that's another point. If you want a reason to buy a ticket, and we're thinking of your pledges, all our pledges as a ticket price, it doesn't have to be a great amount of money. Pledging, I always worry that crowdfunding, pledging, all those words mean that people think they've got to pay an awful lot of money. Any money will help in this situation. It's a ticket price, okay? And so if you want to buy a ticket just to see Amy's outfit, I think that's a totally legitimate reason to join us, quite frankly. And write to me and tell me that's what you've done. I think that's because last time, fabulous. The bar has been set incredibly high, and I know that you can do it. So
Amy Fallon did say to me recently, I think you should write an article about all the different random, like all the cool things you've got in your wardrobe. And I was like, I don't really see myself like that, but
I think absolutely. Or perhaps I should come round and I'll write it for you. I could do that. We could do a
we could
we
do an
could do a
interview.
live from inside your wardrobe. That would be
Yeah.
fun. We could do let us know if you want that in the comments.
Oh
If
no,
you
it's like
want.
battery clothing in my wardrobe.
Yeah.
Um,
Same here. I see that Rachel's joined. Lovely Rachel.
Hello, Rachel.
Hello, Rachel. I'm going to pick on you, Rachel, because obviously you were part of the summer write-up, and if you want to write to us and tell us how you found it, that would be great. Because no pressure, but I'm just aware that we've had lots of people still enthusing about what fun we had in the summer, and it's nice to be reminded of that really happy evening and time. So yeah. And what else should so we've got till Tuesday. That's the important thing to get the money in. And who are the funders, Amy? Apart from lovely substackers and writers, who's the partners?
It's my local council, which is Hammersmith and Fulham. And Hammersmith and Fulham, I do think, are the perfect fit for this type of event because as a borough, we are probably, people might want to argue with me, but I think we're probably the most cosmopolitan borough. Like, we really have people from everywhere and everyone kind of lives together. I would say in the majority of the way, of a really kind of chill, cool way. You know, it's somewhere that makes space for lots of people. And, the fact that they want to invest in this, I think is real credit to them and what they're trying to achieve about and say about London. And I do think, like, for me, I honestly, it's going to sound awful, but I'm from the Midlands and I have a lot of love for the Midlands. But
So
I
am
do,
I. So I'm
yeah.
declaring we declare that fully and happily.
And I do think maybe the way I approach things does have a slight village mentality as well. But what I love about London is it is like a state of mind. Like once you're in London, you are a Londoner, whether you've been there 50 years or like 50 minutes. It's such a kind of accommodating city. And I think that is a really beautiful thing that there's room for everybody. And also the venue that we're going to be in, which is St Andrew's Church in Hammersmith and Fulham, even though it's a church, one of the reasons it works so beautifully as a venue is they really live by that as well. So they welcome people from lots of different backgrounds, lots of different faiths, really try and use it as a community space. We're going to be there on a Saturday evening. Every Saturday morning, they feed the homeless there. Um, you know, every single Saturday without fail, we have showers there. We have like all the toiletries so people can come. And I do really love that about that is our chosen venue because that's saying everyone's welcome. Come in. And I really like that as a writing community. That's what we're doing as well, kind of like trying to like break down barriers and really listen to other people. There's some such chatterbox, like listening is so hard. But there's something when you do write and you tell stories that is your opportunity to put something out there. And I do feel like even though this is entertainment and it's joyful and it's creative, for me as well, it does have a gentle activism to it as well about the type of world we'd like to live in and how and the value of things. At a time when everyone's going crazy, spending presents and money, money is tight. Actually saying there's a real value to community, there's a value to words, there's a value to writing, I think is really beautiful.
Yeah, to listening and engaging with viewpoints that you might not necessarily immediately think you share. That's very important at the moment. Debate and discussion feel like such important things, and we're not saying that the evening is going to get terribly heavy. It's going to
No.
be a great fun thing, but there is that sense of of that quiet activism, and hopefully this time, because I made you go into the pulpit last time to do your introducing, I think I'm due to be going into the pulpit this time, aren't I? So
Yes,
I
I
think
think it's your turn.
it's my turn this time to do that. So I'm looking forward to that immensely because I love being. I never get to be higher than anybody, so it's a great joy for me. So I'm looking forward to that. But what else do you want to say, Amy? Is there anything else you want to say to people? one of the things that I thought of is lots of people that have joined this call I know are already invested in write up and stuff. So I think it's worth us saying, isn't it, that if you can't pledge, if you've already pledged, please share it. It's not too late.
Yes,
That
absolutely. I think the more we share it, the more people we can reach. And also, you know, people are busy. I get that most people probably won't know what write up is. Like I even had one like chat with somebody where they thought everybody coming had to read, and I was like, no, no, that's not what it is. Or you know, or
God,
you
it'd
had
be a long evening if that happened.
you
Like
there till Burns night.
till next Christmas, at least. Yeah.
um you know, or people thought it's only for writers. And I think what's been really nice as well is quite a few people have said to me that they're bringing friends and family members they know have an inner love of writing and they've kind of lost it or not been quite, you know, they haven't felt brave enough to kind of say, yes, this is something I want to do. And they're seeing it as like a bit of inspiration for that person, which is so nice. But I do think it is your gift to yourself. It's the writer's Christmas party. We're going to have a really good time. Like, we couldn't not have a good time. Tom Montworth is there. He's like, good time every day.
Yes, I like having a good time. Less keen on the writing, if I'm honest, my own writing. But I'm thrilled to see everybody else, and I can't wait to have the whole evening and also to just see people shine. I think there's something. I think the other thing we haven't said is, this is about bringing the writing off the page and seeing there's something very special about hearing a writer read their own words
Yeah.
to a really accepting audience. This isn't about an actor. Most of my work is about me giving over a script to a group of actors, which is exciting in itself in a way. But actually, what this is about is hearing something in one's own voice, and that's just very precious. And again, just is right, like being round the campfire many years ago, telling stories. It's as old as time,
I
isn't it?
do think so. And there is such a Christmas tradition of that, you know, in the oral storytelling. But it is that time when people would come together and share stories. And so even though we're doing it, you know, using Substack in a very modern way, it's a very ancient need in human beings
It is.
to do this. So I feel like, and particularly like, you know, for me, there's lots of people that you miss at Christmas, and sometimes just having that kind of entering into that space, you become aware. Like, I mean, I do love Dicking. I do love Dickens. All those ghosts of Christmas, you know, like that you really feel it. It is that time of the year where we're kind of like coming towards the winter solstice, and it is that kind of veil time. It's a really magical time.
It is.
Um, and you really do have the darkness is like, you know, for some people it's quite exciting and for some people it's a bit scary.
I
So
love it. I love the darkness and being inside with a blanket and listening to some great great story or watching something fabulous. I've always liked it since I was a child.
I think
Um
it's a really special time for stories for that reason. You know, it's that time to go in and be on your own or be with your nearest and take some quiet time and read a story, listen to a story, tell a story. There's something like so transformative about it and really nourishing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that element of it. I think it will be so nice when we, at the end of crowdfunding, when we've come to announce our wonderful writers that we're putting through. And I do want to say as well, as Tom said, the quality is so high. And me and Tom and Emma all had a discussion about rejection and how rejection fails. And as writers, we'd all been rejected within the last 7 days from
and
something.
and if you need further proof of that, read Amy's husband Taki's post on rejection, which I think is one of the best examples of the power of rejection in a way, if I can put it like that I've
No,
read for a
I was
long time.
quoting my own husband. I didn't even know he'd written that. He said to me, "Oh, I wrote about rejection last week." And I went, "Did you?" Like, I completely missed it. Completely missed it.
Well worth a read, though. I
It
think it's a
was
real.
It was so good. I really liked that from Taki. He was saying, you can take things from it and you use it to build up the next time. The conversations that we're having as well is like, we don't have enormous budget for feedback, but we do want to give people an idea of like what really worked and why it was. And some people might have only been like a couple of places away from being selected. And it is a lot to do with resources as well. I think we've all said that if we did something like this again, we'd really like to put in an argument for having bursaries, but maybe people that were very new writers and showed tremendous promise, but it wasn't quite ready for public reading, that we could do some development work with them. I think that would be amazing if we could get to that place.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There have been lots of those conversations, and I think that's a really strong way to continue building on this work that you're doing, Amy. Well, I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. I think tell your friends, keep putting money in that pot if you can. If you can't, or you have already, share it widely. It's not too late. We've got until Tuesday. Hope to see you there. It's so exciting.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to everyone who's supported so far. And, a few people have even topped up their pledges as well, which has been like so kind. And that's something, I mean, it does stay open to do that after Tuesday. But the thing is like the council make their judgment based on what is in the pot at the end of Tuesday. So, yeah. And I think one of the asks for me, and anybody has thoughts on this, let me know, is I think I probably need to get better at getting in contact with businesses and seeing if they could give us larger pledges. It's all kind of like a learning curve and a time factor. But I wonder if that could be something we build in the future as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard asking. We're as writers, we're not built for this. Has been my argument, as you know. We've had several conversations about this. We're not, built for asking for money. We don't know our own worth.
No.
It's not in our wheelhouse, as they say, really. And I think this is such valuable work in so many ways. Social enterprise, writing, all those things. We just got to get a bit better at maybe believing in ourselves and believing in practicing what we preach, I
Yeah,
suppose, is
and
the thing.
Jenny Granville just commented and she said, yeah, definitely asking businesses. So I have got some requests out for some businesses, but it's whether they get back to me in time. People have their own time frames. But I think if people have ideas on businesses that we could approach for 2026, I think having conversations at the beginning of the financial year is probably like a good time. But I also think you can't cold call those types of, I think you have to have a relationship and an introduction with them.
You do. You need a built-in time, don't you? And I was just thinking what you need. Okay, so a little insight into the judging process here. So I don't think it's spoiling anything to say that Amy and I might be slightly chaotic with our pieces of paper. We're very efficient, but we're slightly chaotic. Emma Simpson organised, spreadsheet sorted out, sent round to us. I've never been so jealous in the whole of my
You
life.
can tell she's got a maths degree, can't you? And was an
Yeah,
air traffic controller. She really kept us on the straight and narrow, didn't
yeah.
she? It's great.
She sent a spreadsheet, and I've got to go and fill it in
Me too.
after this call and being kept at it. And you're right, Jenny, because Jenny's saying have the businesses there as honoured guests, and I think that's absolutely right. Yeah, totally. But for this time, the honoured guests will be the writers and always will be at Write Up. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying that as a writer, because we're never the honoured guests. We're always the bridesmaid or whatever the equivalent is. So it's lovely to feel with a proper place at the table. That's the thing.
And the thing that I've been really surprised, I just saw Mary Louise has just joined. We have people who don't even live in the UK who have pledged. And I just think that's such a beautiful, like such a kind thing to do. Like they said to me, my intention is that one day I will come to London and join you. But they're doing it because they really writers need to be winded up. Oh,
Quite right.
that's so funny. So going off track here, but when I signed my first book deal with my mum, we had a joint deal with HarperCollins, and we went to Brown's Hotel. Brown's in Piccadilly.
Yeah.
Well, I had a really good look at the cocktail list before we went to decide what I wanted. And so I made sure that I ordered the maximum amount of cocktails that I could get away with while we were there. And my mum was really restrained and she just had the one. And then HarperCollins, typical HarperCollins, blood on the walls, like made the publisher redundant, got rid of all their editorial team. And our agent kept saying to us, "Oh, there'll be a lunch. There'll definitely be a lunch." And there was never a lunch. And my mum used to say to me, "I wish I'd had more cocktails and I wish I'd ordered some hors d'oeuvres as well." And I was like, I think that's the thing. If you get the chance to be merry and feast, go for it because you never
Go for
know
it.
what's
Go
going to
for it.
happen.
Absolutely. Well, I think on that note, we should probably let people go. But you've got it's Tuesday, and then and come and join us. And as we say, the pledge is your ticket.
Thank you
So
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 much.
so I think that's the most important thing. Tell your friends, bring your friends, come and have fun.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, bye, everyone.